We are at the end of the week of prayer for Christian unity. Christian unity, an oxymoron, does need prayer, since there is no such thing as Christian unity. Christians are as varied as a tossed salad with its variety of colors and shapes and textures, but there's one thing that binds us closely together, and that is our common commitment and devotion to Jesus Christ. I wonder what symbol you would use to declare your commitment to Jesus Christ, or that you're a Christian. The earliest Christian symbol was a fish. Well, why a fish? Let that be your homework to figure out. Today, the cross is the principal symbol of the Christian faith. No matter the denomination, if there's a cross, you know that it represents a Christian presence, whether you are in Istanbul or Mumbai, Beijing or Moscow. But the cross only took hold as a Christian symbol in the 4th century. Earlier artists mocked the Christian faith with a cross. One early cartoon or graffiti shows Jesus on the cross, and he has the head of a donkey. It was as if to say, this is what we think of your Savior. After all, what religion would have as its hero, its Savior, die naked on a cross? I wonder if you have a favorite representation of the cross. Some paintings emphasize how much Jesus suffered on the cross. They have a grisly realism like Mel Gibson's Passion of the Christ. Here is Lucas Cranach's painting from 1503. He wanted us to appreciate the anguish and pain and horror of the cross. There are slumped bodies and blood dripping down. There's a spike through bizarrely twisted feet, riveting the flesh to the wood. And I will not jar your shuddering sensibilities with more graphic details. I like what Salvador Dali has done with his crucifixion. It's a 7 by 4 foot painting which hangs in an art gallery in Glasgow. You can stand on a second-floor balcony and look down on it, and you gain something of its perspective. Typical of Dali's paintings, it is surreal. Jesus is hanging in midair on a cross, looking down at the world, and the world is so much like ours. There's a mountain and lakes and people standing around a boat. It was as if Jesus was saying, this is my world and the people I love, for whom I give my life. And I wonder if that perspective stops you in your tracks. It does me. There's another painting of the cross which was displayed at the art museum in Haifa in Israel, and it drew so violent a reaction among Christians. They responded with a firebomb and the stoning of security personnel. It reminded me of Charlie Hebdo and the offending reprints of the Prophet Muhammad and the inexcusable violence that followed. But you realize it's not just extremist Muslims who resort to violence. In this instance, Jesus is represented as Ronald McDonald. What do you make of it? What does it suggest to you? Is it a mockery of Jesus? It was intended by its Finnish artist, Jani Lennonen, as a critique of our consumer society, our fast food mentality when it comes to our faith and religion. Even there, we want no effort, no sacrifice, a little religion here and there. You have your fill, and off you go to whatever amuses you in life. The artist was saying, this kind of religion is like seeing a Ronald McDonald on a cross, easygoing and clownish. It's not the Jesus who said to some men mending their nets by the Sea of Galilee, follow me, come Come, walk beside me along these dusty trails. Learn of me and of my way. And these men left all and followed him. They had no clear theological understanding of who Jesus was, but they believed in him and they followed him. And the day would come when they would in turn pick up their own crosses and listen to a higher calling. The final image I want to leave with you is from a statue which was on display at the Pittsburgh Art Gallery, and I don't have a picture for you. It was a sculpture of the crucifixion which depicts Jesus Christ stretched out on a cross. The only trouble was he was disconnected. His arms did not join his shoulders, or his head on his neck, and his legs were not hooked onto his torso. Jesus Christ was broken into pieces, and the title of the sculpture was Denominationalism. And I'm grateful that in our day, in our neighborhood, there's a sewing together of those rifts which once divided us so bitterly. Just before the cross, Jesus prayed for his disciples. We call it the high priestly prayer. And before him were this motley bunch, as wide apart as Simon the Zealot and Matthew to the tax collector. But they were a microcosm of the church, and Jesus prayed for them. May they be one. We're not expecting to become one giant organization here or anywhere in the world. We are way too different. But we respect each other and work together, humbly listening to each other, resulting in greater understanding and deeper appreciation. And in a small way, in our area, to quote a line from a recent inauguration address, we lead not by the example of our power, but by the power of our example.